Again, I'm Bob Coburn. Rockline is brought to you in part by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Tonight, Rockline is a double bill featuring Dave Edmunds. Plus, a little later on, Billy Idol. So get your questions ready and call us toll-free in the U.S. and Canada. 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free from anywhere in North America. Dave Edmunds has played with two highly respected bands in rock and roll, Love Sculpture and Rockpile. He's been recording for 22 years and has worked at one time or another with the legends of the industry, from Eric Clapton and Paul McCartney to the Fabulous Thunderbirds and Carl Perkins. And Rockline right now welcomes, for his first appearance on the show, solo artist Dave Edmunds. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here tonight, too.
I'm very interested in what's going to happen here.
Well, it should be interesting for me, too. Part of the fun of doing the show is you never know what's going to happen, so our audience is going to lay it on us before too long. Is this your first live album?
Yes, it is.
I thought it was. You've recorded, as I said, for 22 years, but it's really the first live record you've done.
It is.
Why so long, and what prompted you to release one at this point?
Well, it was the record company's idea. I hadn't done anything live for about 3 years, and there's this new music seminar that happens in New York every year, and there's a gig at the end of it, which I did at the Felt Forum in New York, and it was great. And I thought, yes, I've been missing this without knowing it, And there was a guy from my record company there, and he said, well, let's get a live album out. Actually, we had all the tapes from numerous gigs which had been recorded in the past, so it was just a question of going through and sorting out the best takes, really. It was good fun to do.
In a way, it serves as a greatest hits LP. You can look back and say, look at these great songs this man has done over the years. Now, one of the songs on the album is The Wanderer. There's some brass on that. You weren't on tour for a whole tour with a brass section.
No, you've caught me out here, I have to admit. No, I did put that on afterwards. And I used them on another track as well. But, see, we don't usually do The Wanderer. It was never in the set. It was just now and again we like to throw in something to keep the set, because if you're doing the same set night after night, it can tend to get a bit stale, I think. So we just pop in new songs all the time, or old songs that we've never done before. And somehow this found its way on the album, and it's now the single.
And we're going to listen to it this very moment. It's The Wanderer by Dave Edmunds on Rockline. The Dave Edmunds Band live from the album I Hear You Rockin', that is The Wanderer. I'm Bob Coburn. Dave is my guest right now. Our first phone call for you, Dave, is Liz. She is in San Pedro, California, listening to 95.5 KLOS. Good evening, Liz. You're on the Rockline.
Thank you. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Liz.
Hi. I got the album, and my only regret is it's not a double live album. I can't get enough of it. What I was wondering is that, with a few exceptions, most of your albums have been produced by yourself, and I was wondering what the pros and cons were of producing yourself as opposed to maybe Jeff Lynne doing some riff-raff and information.
Well, I'm not sure, really. All I know is that when I first wanted to make records, I had my own idea that I wanted to get in the studio and maybe play all the instruments as well, and I'd never heard the word producer, I don't think. So I just sort of, that's how I came into the business, making my own records. However, at some point, a couple of years ago, I thought, I wonder what it is like to be produced. And I've always admired ELO records. I think they're the most amazing productions. And I didn't know Jeff Lynne, but I got his phone number from his record company by devious means. And I called him. And he was amazed. And this amazed me that no one had ever asked him before to produce a record, which I found staggering because he's a wizard. Truly, I think the closest thing to a genius I've ever heard. In the studio, he's amazing, and he jumped at it, and he wrote some songs, and I brought a few along, and we did it, and we just sort of got to know each other in the studio, and it was great. It wasn't a career move as such. It was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to work with him, which is great in this business. You can do that if you've got some kind of recognition or high profile that you can decide, I'd like to work with whoever, and chances are they want to work with you as well, and that's really what makes it all worth it.
Liz,
really, that's the best part of it.
That's a good call, Liz. Thank you for starting us off. We're going to hear a song written by Jeff Lynne the next time we play a song. Right now, we're going to take a brief time out. We're just getting started, and your number is toll-free from anywhere in North America. To talk with Dave Edmunds, it's 1-800-344-ROCK. We're talking rock and roll on Rockline.
More Rockline with Dave Edmunds live on the Loop, FM 98.
Rockline returns. I'm Bob Coburn with Dave Edmunds. Billy Idol will be on a little bit later. Your number to call is toll-free from anywhere in North America, 1-800-344-ROCK. Next call for you, Dave, is from Savannah, Georgia. It's a gentleman named Ricky who would like to talk to you, and he, of course, is listening to I-95. Hi there, Ricky.
Yeah, hey, Dave.
Hi, Ricky.
Yeah, hey, Dave, look here, man. What I wanted to ask you is, most guitarists, you're a real good guitarist now. I was wondering, who was your earliest influences when you was, learning how to play? And another question, how was you when you first started out playing, and what advice would you give to a guitarist that was starting out now with everybody, trying to learn how to play guitar now?
Oh, okay. Well, there wasn't like a date I started, because my older brother Jeff started playing, and I used to sort of pick up his guitar, and sometimes I'd be interested in it, and sometimes not, So I don't know, I guess it was around about 17. The people I used to listen to were all the great guitar solos on the great rock and roll records, like there was Cliff Gallup on the Gene Vincent records, and Chet Atkins, I think, is probably my biggest influence. And all those guys, James Burton, all those great rock and roll guitar players. Who do you like?
I was, talking about Jimmy Page and stuff like that. I like you a lot, too, man.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
There you are, Ricky.
I don't know about advice. I don't think there is any, really. You just follow your influences, and you get drawn towards whatever style you like. I tried going for this blues thing. I was just talking to Bob about it earlier. Early on I put out this sort of blues record, and I sort of did an okay job on it, but it wasn't what I really wanted to do. So you just kind of gravitate to whatever style of guitarist that influenced you, So there's nothing much you can say to anyone, I don't think. Just keep doing it.
Dave and I had been talking about Love Sculpture's Blues Helping album, their first release, and that's what prompted that. Ricky, good call. Thanks for being on. It's Don's turn. He's in Memphis, great rock and roll city, listening to 103 FM. Don, you're on the Rockline.
Yeah, hello, Dave.
Hi.
Hi. How was it working with Paul Schaefer and David Letterman?
Oh, that was great. That band is so good, I can't tell you.
Yeah, aren't they?
They're just
really
amazing.
Good.
I was curious, they'll play quite a bit during commercial breaks, or,
Yeah, well, I always thought they just, when you're watching Letterman and it comes to a break and you just hear a snip of their music, and I thought they stopped, and then they started again when it came back. But no, they just keep playing straight through. And we did all kinds of stuff. We did, it's like Bill Black stuff, and we did Rock On, that David Essex thing, and Green Onions, Booker T. And it was great fun, and they're wonderful musicians. I'd love to work with them again.
That's a quality rock and roll band. Don,
Yeah.
Thank you for your question and for being on tonight. I'm going to play the Jeff Lynne song that he has written, done by Dave Edmunds and his band, recorded live. This is Slippin' Away on Rockline on the Global Satellite Network. Slippin' Away, recorded live by Dave Edmunds and his band on Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. We were talking about some of your earlier influences a while ago, and when you started playing, I was told that you still have your first guitar and still play it on stage. Is that true?
Yeah, my first good guitar. I mean, I started on a couple of little old beaten-up things, but the first really good guitar I got is a 1958 blonde Gibson 335 Dot. That's the full title of it. I mean, guitarists should know what I'm talking about when I say that. And it's probably worth a bit of money, actually. Yeah, it's a lovely guitar, and I still play it, and I've been playing it on this tour. And Gibson gave me they brought it out, they reissued the model, and they gave me one.
Oh, nice. Really? How nice. How
yeah,
nice.
It's
That's
never
great.
quite the same as the old one.
Let's take another call. We have Jason on the line. He's in Vancouver, British Columbia, listening to CFOX FM 99. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Bob and Dave. Dave, I'd just like to ask you a bit about your producing.
Yeah.
And after you play here next week, you're jetting off to England to produce the Fabulous Thunderbirds. First of all, I'd like to know about that. And also, you recently produced a Canadian artist named K.D. Lang, and I was wondering how you met up with her and why you decided to produce her, and if you know when the album is going to come out.
Yeah. Yes, I'll tell you all these things. Yeah, I'm going back to England at the end of the tour, but not to produce the Thunderbirds, because I'm just going home for a 2-week break. Then I'm going to Memphis to produce the Thunderbirds, which would be great. I mean, Memphis is quite a city, for music,
definitely.
and so I'm looking forward to that a lot. And K.D. Lang, yeah, she's great. K.D. Lang and the Reclines from Vancouver. I think they're pretty well known in Canada, but this is their first album, which I produced, and it's actually very good. It's very unusual. It's sort of, I don't know how to describe it, like psychedelic Western swing or something.
I can't
she'd
wait
probably
to hear
strangle me that. But it's very unusual, but she's very talented. She's a great singer, and the band are great, and the songs are great. And I believe it's out in March on Warner Brothers, I think. Yeah.
So look for it, Jason. A very well-informed call. Thank you very much.
In fact, I should say hello to my brother Jeff in Canada. If he's listening, see you in a week or so.
There you go, Jeff. We're talking about Dave producing. Just a quick list, a partial list of some of the acts that Dave has produced. Foghat, Fabulous Thunderbirds, The Flaming Groovies, Del Shannon, Brinsley Schwartz, the Everly Brothers, Stray Cats, Ducks Deluxe. On down the line. I'll stop right there. Our next call is from Rochester, New York. It's Mark. He's listening to 96 WCMF. Mark, you're on with us.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
I'm a big fan of yours up here in Rochester.
Oh, great.
And I have a couple questions. Now, what label are you on right now? And are you going to be doing anything more with Love Sculpture?
Oh, no, not really. I'm on CBS Records at the moment. No, that was just a band, it was my first band, really, in my hometown in Cardiff, and I'm amazed that people even know of the name or remember it, because we just happened to get a hit, which, a lucky hit, round about, God, I dread to say, it was about 1968 or something, with this weird instrumental called Saber Dance, and we really weren't prepared for anything else, really. And then the band, I got onto other things, and I had things to do. So, no, there's no chance of that. Although the bass player in that band is still in my band now, and he's with me on this tour.
To this day. Mark,
to this day.
Thank you for your call. We definitely appreciate it. We got more music from Dave Edmunds coming up, more time for you to talk with him. Billy Idol is on a little bit later. Our number for you to call is toll-free. One number for the one and only Rockline. It's 1-800-344-ROCK from anywhere in North America.
FM 98, WLUP, Chicago.
Welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn with Dave Edmunds. Going to play another song from the album Edmunds Band Live, I Hear You Knockin'. This song was written by Pearl King and Dave Bartholomew of New Orleans and was recorded by Smiley Lewis originally. Gail Storm had a hit with this, and so did Fats Domino, as well as Dave Edmunds. This version recorded live, as I said, the Dave Edmunds Band, I Hear You Knockin' on Rockline. Dave Edmunds recorded live, I Hear You Knockin' on Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. Back to the phones we go. Next call for Dave Edmunds from Detroit. We're going to talk to Kurt, who's listening to WRIF. Kurt, meet Dave Edmunds.
Hello, Dave.
Hi, Kurt.
Hey, I caught you backstage at St. Andrews over here a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Another question for you. Remember me with the one question. Okay. Anyway, I was going to ask you about the Porky's Revenge soundtrack.
Yeah.
How did you assemble so many people in one place at one time, or was it recorded sort of like spread out individually?
No, well, it was done over a period of a few weeks, I suppose. How did I get... I don't know, I've used up a few favors there, I think. But, yeah, well, it was nice to do that, because I wasn't just doing the soundtrack movie, I was doing what they call the incidental, or the scoring, which means you have to put all the little blimps and bumps in to fit in with what's happening on screen.
Oh,
so that I'd never done that before. I did that with Chuck Lavelle, and it was great fun doing it. Yeah, the album turned out okay. I think there's some interesting stuff on it. It's a pity it was such a turkey of a film. I didn't actually know at the time. It's hard to know when you're sort of halfway, before the film's made, just how it's going to turn out. I'd like to do another one. I'd be a bit more choosy about what film I would do that again for. But it was good fun,
It's tough to tell when you're making a film. It's really hard to tell whether it's going to be good or not. They thought Casablanca was a turkey. Look how that turned out.
I read an interview with Richard Burton, and he was saying that, because, I mean, a great an actor as he was, he made a few turkeys as well, and he was asked about this, and he was saying, well, you don't know. You get offered the script, and it looks like it's fine, and the director looks cool, and, the casting looks pretty sound, and then halfway through you think, uh-oh,
yeah.
what have I done,
Whoops.
And there's no way you can tell, but, no, it's still good fun doing it. No, I think the albums, there's some good stuff there.
It's a very good rock and roll record. Kurt, thanks for being on. We're going to turn it now to Ace, who's in Scottsburg, Indiana, listening to 96 QMF in Louisville, Kentucky. Hi, Ace.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Ace.
I'd like to tell you, Bob, I really enjoy your show because I'm glad somebody finally has given heavy metal a break. There's a lot of stations that don't care about heavy metal and hard rock, but I'm glad you do.
Well, we're rock and rollers here. Thanks for your comment, Ace.
Dave, I'd like to ask you about playing live on stage. Is there a big difference between playing something like when you played the US Festival and, say, playing a concert hall? Is there a big difference between the feeling you get on?
Well, I used to say that a gig is a gig, really, and whether it's a small club or a 5,000 or 8,000 seat, it doesn't really matter, not in terms of the number of people. But when I got onto that stage in the US Festival, and I looked, and there was like 250,000 people. To the horizon, there were people. And it was just, and then I thought, what is this? You know, what am I doing here? Well, not that, but it's the first time I got nervous because of the amount of people there. And it was quite strange. But once we got into it, it was great, you know.
It was very hot. Music, yeah. Well, it was awful.
It was about 110, and then the stage lights.
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
But that's a small city, 250,000 people. That's a good
That's a lot of people
right
to look out and see.
Ace, thank you for being on tonight. We're going to play some more music by Dave. If you did not know, he has a song that is from the soundtrack of Light of Day, the new film starring Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts will be here next week, along with Colin Hay. And right now we're going to listen to this song that Dave has contributed to the soundtrack. This is Stay With Me Tonight on Rockline. Stay With Me Tonight is the name of that song, co-written by Dave Edmunds from the soundtrack of the film Light of Day. We go back to the telephones now. We're going to talk with Ken from Rahway, New Jersey. 92.3 K-Rock is what he's listening to. Ken, welcome back.
Thank you very much. And Dave, you kind of left us Rockpile fans screaming for more after doing just one great album in 1980. Is it possible that you and Nick Lowe might work together in a group situation in the future?
Well, there are no plans at the moment. I see Nick every now and again, and he's okay. He's a good one. I like Nick. No plans at the moment, but I suppose you never know what can happen in time. You know, I wouldn't mind working with him again. He's okay.
So don't rule it out, Ken. It may happen. Thanks for coming back on with us, Ken. We appreciate it. We're going to turn it now to Roland. He is in Vancouver, BC, listening to CFOX FM 99. Hi there.
Hello, Dave.
Hi.
A little while ago, I heard that you and your brother Jeff are possibly going to do some writing or recording together. Is that true or in the back of your mind?
You did? You heard that?
Yes, I did.
Did he tell you that?
Yes, he
did. What can I say? Well, I hope we've just had a date added to the end of the tour. We're going up to Vancouver, so I might see him, and I'll thrash it out with him.
You said he lives in Canada. Is Vancouver where he's residing now?
Yeah.
Roland,
he's been there for some time.
Thank you for being on. It's a beautiful city up there. We appreciate it. We're going to play some more rock and roll. Another song. Great song from the Dave Edmunds band, Girls Talk, from the brand new live album. We have a call now for Dave Edmunds from Philadelphia. Our station is 94 YSP, and we welcome to the Rockline a gentleman named Rick. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Okay.
I saw you here in Philadelphia about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
And I noticed, though, you played mostly songs from your earlier albums, not much from, well, nothing really, from Information or Riff Raff, and only one from DE7, which was a Chuck Berry song. Any reason for that you're doing all the old songs mostly?
Not really. Well, there's one I can think of. On the last tour, I had this album out with the stuff that Jeff Lynne had produced on it, and the only way we could do that stuff live was to use tapes, and I feel like terrible, you know, like it's cheating or something, you know. It worked okay, you know, but I don't know, it sort of got in the way of the rest of the set somehow. You just waiting for this to come up, and you're worrying about if the click track goes out of time or something, you know. We just thought it works better doing it live. So we didn't. That's why we didn't do that stuff. I can't think of any other songs on those albums, actually. We just do the stuff that works well on stage with the 5-piece lineup, you know. Basically, that's it. What album it comes from, I've forgotten which record comes from what album.
There you go, Rick. Glad you enjoyed the show. Let's let Ron have a turn here. He is in Chicago. Our affiliate's The Loop, FM 98. Ron, you're on the Rockline.
Dave?
Hi, Ron.
Hi. Just saw you in Chicago last week. I thought you put on a great show.
Oh, thank you. Park West, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Did a lot of dancing that night.
Good venue.
I got a question for you. Career-wise, are you going to get more into the production of albums, or are you going to do, recording?
Well, the way it's going at the moment is more production. Because I was doing sort of album tour for a few years, and it got a bit tedious, actually. And I wanted to take a break from that. So the producing bit, that sort of came in handy. I spent about 3 years just in the studio producing various people, some of which whose albums haven't been released yet. But I think it's basically I'm a sort of studio creature. But I like doing the live stuff now and again. I'm working on an album as well. I've made a start on it, and I hope to finish it sort of end of summer, something like that.
Ron, thank you for being on. We're going to let Kim be on now. He is in Los Angeles listening to 95.5 KLOS. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Dave.
Kim.
Hi, I hear you're going to produce the next Thunderbirds record.
Is this
Mr.
Kim Wilson from the Fabulous Thunderbirds?
I knew it.
Great job on that last record. I got a song for you for the new Thunderbirds record.
You have?
Ain't that tough?
Great. Where are you?
I'm in my hotel room right now.
Okay.
In fact, I got a little piece of paper in my hand saying I got nominated for something. Thanks to you. Thanks.
Oh, good stuff. What hotel are you in?
I'm not telling
I tell you what, Kim, we'll put you on hold and let Dave find out that way so we don't broadcast it nationwide in 2 countries here. How's that sound?
Nearly got you then.
Kim, come on back to Rockline sometime, and good luck in the Grammys tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, see you,
Talk
Kim.
to you later. Kim Wilson, lead vocalist, harmonica player, and just a gentleman extraordinaire in the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Well, I want to thank you for being here, Dave, very much. You mentioned a new album. You hope to have it finished before too long. How far on down the line are you in recording this record?
I've done about 3 tracks.
So you got a ways to go. You're just now getting started on it.
Yeah.
And I also was told that you're going to be on the Joan Rivers show tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Which should be pretty interesting. And appearing on that show is Larry Hagman, a.k.a. JR. And you were in a film with him, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. When I heard he was on the show, I phoned my manager in New York and I said, this Larry Hagman guy, I said, you know, he used to be my manager. He said, what are you talking about? Well, it turns out, I was sort of musical director for this film Stardust with David Essex and Ringo, not Ringo, he wasn't in that one, Keith Moon. And Larry Hagman was in it, and I was in the film in the band. It was sort of about a film about a band, a rock and roll band, and he was our manager in the film. So.
Oh, that's great. So a reunion of sorts tomorrow night on the Joan Rivers show, so check that out. Dave Edmunds, my guest. Thank you for being here
Thank
tonight.
you, Bob.
Thanks for some great music over the years, too. We'll take a brief time out. We'll be back in just one moment. My guest coming up is Billy Idol. Your number to call is toll-free from anywhere in North America. It's 1-800-344-ROCK.